Welcome back to Learn with Saim. Title: The Rock's Road, From Rock Bottom to Icon. Before the world cheered his name, before the muscles, the movies, the millions, there was a young man, alone, broke, rejected, and forgotten. No lights, no applause, just $7 in his pocket, and a fire in his soul the world had yet to see. This is not just the story of fame. This is not just the story of success. This is the story of a man who got knocked down harder than most ever will, and rose higher than most ever dream. This is the story of Dwayne, "The Rock," Johnson, a man who forged his destiny from failure, turned pain into purpose, and built an empire from the rubble of rejection. If you've ever doubted yourself, if you've ever failed, if you've ever stood at the edge of giving up, then this story is for you. Ignite the fire. In every legend, there's a chapter of silence. A moment where the world doesn't believe. A time when the stage is empty, and the only audience is your doubt. That's where Dwayne, "The Rock," Johnson started, not in the spotlight, but in the shadows of failure, pain, and rejection. This is the story of a man who turned his pain into power. Who used every setback as a stepping stone. Who stood at the edge of defeat, and refused to fall. This is the story of The Rock. Chapter 1. Humble Beginnings. Born on May 2, 1972, in Hayward, California, Dwayne Douglas Johnson entered a family already wrestling with destiny. His father, Rocky Johnson, was a trailblazing black wrestling champion. His grandfather, Peter Mavia, was a Samoan wrestling legend. Yet despite this legacy, the Johnsons didn't live in luxury. In fact, they struggled. Moving from place to place, Dwayne's early life was marked by instability. His family couldn't always pay rent. At one point, they were evicted from their tiny apartment in Hawaii. His mother cried. He watched helplessly, powerless to fix it. That image stayed burned in his heart forever. At 14, he began lifting weights, not just to build muscle, but to build something to hold on to. A dream, a discipline, a future. But trouble followed him. Arrested multiple times as a teenager for fighting and theft, Dwayne could have easily gone down a different path. But he didn't. He chose to fight, not in the streets, but for a life beyond the chaos. Chapter 2. Chasing a Dream, and Losing It. Football became his salvation. He earned a full scholarship to play at the University of Miami, one of the top programs in the country. Dwayne Johnson dreamed of the NFL. Fame, fortune, respect. He trained like a beast. He pushed himself harder than anyone else on the field. But dreams don't always work out. After college, he went undrafted by the NFL. No team called. No chance came. Eventually, he was signed to a Canadian Football League team, the Calgary Stampeders. But that dream crashed too. He was cut from the team. Fired. Sent home with $7 in his pocket. That number, $7, would become a symbol. He was 23 years old. Broke. Depressed. Sleeping on a mattress in his parents' small apartment. And it was in that moment of complete defeat that he made a decision that would change everything. Chapter 3. A Different Arena. He called his father and said, "I want to get into wrestling." Rocky Johnson was hesitant. Wrestling was tough. It was brutal, and it had already broken his own body and spirit in many ways. But Dwayne was determined. He trained relentlessly, day and night, lifting, practicing, learning how to fall, how to sell, how to perform, how to become more than just strong, how to become a presence. In 1996, Dwayne debuted in the WWE as Rocky Mavia, a babyface character honoring his father and grandfather. But the fans hated it. They chanted, "Die Rocky die," every time he entered the ring. Rejection again. But instead of quitting, he did something brave. He reinvented himself. He embraced the hate. He turned heel. He became The Rock, an arrogant, charismatic trash talker who electrified audiences with his words as much as his power. And the crowd went wild. The Rock was born. Chapter 4. Electrifying the World. From 1998 to 2004, The Rock dominated the WWE. He became a 10-time world champion. His catchphrases, "If ya smell what The Rock is cookin', it doesn't matter, know your role and shut your mouth," became part of pop culture. But he wasn't just a wrestler. He was a storyteller, a showman, a force, and soon, Hollywood came calling. He took a risk, stepping away from the comfort of wrestling into the uncertainty of acting. Many athletes had tried, most failed, not him. Chapter 5. Breaking Hollywood. His first leading role was in The Scorpion King, 2002. The critics were lukewarm. But Dwayne Johnson had a weapon no one could ignore: work ethic. He trained like he was still preparing for war. He studied acting like it was football. He outworked everyone. Role by role, he proved himself. From action to comedy to drama, he built a brand around authenticity, discipline, and grit. He wasn't just an actor, he was a phenomenon. Fast and Furious, Jumanji, Moana, Red Notice, Black Adam. He didn't just star in blockbusters, he became the blockbuster. Chapter 6. The $7 Empire. Remember those $7? He didn't forget. He named his production company $7 Productions, a tribute to his lowest point. That company has produced global hits, TV shows, films, documentaries, and even other stars. He turned rock bottom into a launchpad. He didn't just succeed, he brought others with him. Chapter 7. Staying grounded. Despite the fame, The Rock never forgot his roots. He still wakes up at 4 a.m. to train. Still talks about his mom. Still thanks his fans. Still posts motivational videos. Still says, "Be the hardest worker in the room." He shares his pain, his struggles, his failures. He shows that strength isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. Chapter 8. Lessons from The Rock. 1. Rock bottom is a foundation. When life knocks you down, use that ground as a starting point. That pain, that's your power. 2. Bet on yourself. Nobody believed in The Rock at first. Accept him. That's all it takes. 3. Reinvention is survival. Don't be afraid to change. When Rocky Maivia failed, The Rock was born. 4. Outwork everyone. Talent is nothing without hustle. And The Rock hustles like he's still broke. 5. Turn loss into legacy. $7 became a media empire. Failure became fame. Defeat became drive. Chapter 9. From man to movement. Dwayne Johnson isn't just a man anymore, he's a mindset. He represents every underdog who was told, "You can't." Every dreamer who was knocked down. Every soul who was broke, lost, tired, but didn't quit. He proved that it doesn't matter where you start. What matters is how bad you want it, and how hard you're willing to work for it. The final word: you don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need a rich family. You don't even need talent. What you need is heart. What you need is hustle. What you need is a reason to keep going when the world says stop. Just like The Rock did. So the next time you feel lost, defeated, empty, remember Dwayne Johnson, and tell yourself, "I may be at the bottom, but I'm not staying here. I'm building something unbreakable, something legendary." Because sometimes, the hardest roads lead to the greatest destinies. The legend within you. Don't let the spotlight fool you. Behind every overnight success are years of unseen battles. Behind every strong smile is a history of silent tears. Behind The Rock, the icon, the star, the mogul, is a kid who got evicted, who failed at his first dream, who had every reason to give up, but didn't. And that's what makes him powerful. Not the muscles, not the fame, not the money, but the refusal to stay down. So if you're tired, if you're broke, if the world has told you you're not enough, remember this: $7 can't define you. Your past can't limit you. Your pain doesn't disqualify you. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. You are not done. Because like The Rock once said, greater than, be humble, be hungry, and always be the hardest worker in the room. The world will doubt you. The odds may bury you. But if you keep showing up, if you keep grinding, if you keep believing, you won't just survive, you will rise. Just like he did, from the bottom to legendary.